Hello everybody, welcome back to the Farming Simulator 25 map guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at North Frisian 25. But before that, this video is brought to you by Delilah Paxiron and Jonathan. Thank you for being farm barons. So the North Frisian 25 map, not to be confused with another map that shares this name, can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game downloadable content menu. As of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms, and I want to address something real quick. While the download size of the map is just 303 megabytes, this map has 30 required mods. So that may rule this map out for some of you. But I do ask that you bear with the video and just give it a check. Because just maybe, it's a map that you're going to enjoy. But at any rate, after you factor in the size of all 30 of the required mods, we're looking at a total download size of 808 megabytes. That alone may also rule this map out for some console players simply because of the limited mod storage space that you guys have. Let me go ahead and read some of the description. Welcome to North Frisian. This map takes you to far north of Germany, directly to the rugged but beautiful North Sea coast. True to the detail with a lot of love for the landscape, it reflects a typical charm of northern Germany. Vast fields, idyllic villages, and authentic farms create a realistic game world that will delight both fans of small family farms and operators of large agricultural businesses. Thanks to the varied environment and generous areas the map offers, plenty of space for modern machines, extensive farm structures, and shared gaming experiences. Immerse yourself in the unique atmosphere of North Frisian and experience an agricultural landscape that perfectly combines the closeness of nature, tradition, and progress. This map includes 98 fields. The average field size is 2.53 hectares, and the smallest is 0.17, and the largest is 11. There are 14 purchasable forest areas, and let's run down through the 30 required mods. You're going to need, in addition to the map, multi-fruit buying station, large storage halls, placeable hedges, wind turbine package, machinery shed, farm decoration pack, modern barn with workshop, shed cow barn, bulk material bunker, floor plane weighing station, old structure pack, radio tower, medium biogas package, farmhouse package volume 3, hunting pulpit, shed pack, cow shed pack, additional decoration pack, modern house set, heavy duty rack element, slurry storage pack, old farm package, fuel tank 5,000 liters, wooden open barn, bunker silo pack, pig shed, lizard silo pack, small heating plant, storage shed, and shed pack. Once you have all of those mods downloaded and the map itself, well, then you can load on in and kind of experience what's going on. So if we scroll on out, this is a standard size map, and you can see we've got quite an array of field shape and sizes. We also have 5 different farms on this particular map. We also have all of our standard crops available to us in Farm Sim 25 on this map. If we take a look at our farmland screen, you'll see we start up by owning farmland ID 254. That is going to be the main starting farm, and we're going to have 2 cow pastures on this farm. If you select to not own the farm at the start, well, you'll be able to buy this for $140,000. Also, if you select to not own the starting farm, you will not own any of the starting machinery. Of course, we are loading this map up owning the starting farm, so sorry about that, folks. So we also do have our starting machinery. In addition to the starting farm, we also own a few fields. We own farmland ID 233, which is this odd little strip. Odd little horizontal strip. At any rate, we also own farmland ID 3, farmland ID 21, farmland ID 74, farmland ID 33, and farmland ID 38. As far as other farms on this map, well, we have a pig farm located at farmland ID 253. That can be bought for $92,545. We have a cow farm at farmland ID 252. That can be bought for $128,955. We have another cow farm located at farmland ID 250. That can be bought for $248,019. We have an arable farm located down here at farmland ID 249. That can be bought for $53,907. And we have a biogas plant that can be bought at 251 for $82,120. Now, we do have the ability to buy the unbuyable land, if you will. That will be the road structure and a lot of the other areas kind of around the map and various sell point areas. Also includes this large solar array, but I don't think the solar array is going to give us any money if we own it, and we're going to need $8.4 million in order to purchase the farmland with the solar array. Now, also, we're going to find scattered around this map, there are going to be windmills, wind turbines on various fields, like, for example, field 53 and field 50, because we can see these little circles. If we own the land, we can sell the wind turbine. Sadly, it's 255. Okay, so that turbine is going to be there until you buy farmland ID 255, and then you'll be ready to go with respect to clearing those out if you want to get rid of them. In addition to our farmlands, we do have our standard crop counter available to us on this particular map. We start out with 2 cow barns, one of which has 25 cows on the starting farm. We do have contracts available to us, and we also have some production. In fact, we have 2 productions. We have the carpentry, which is in the northwest corner of the map, and we have the biogas plant. With respect to our prices, I counted up 7 different sell points scattered around the map. And with respect to our starting fleet, again, if we own the starting farm, we own the starting machinery. And they're going to have the Agrimoz POV 5 XL plow. We've got a bale spike, pallet fork, and universal bucket. For the Brantner Z 18051/2 Power Flex trailer, we have the Kloss Evian 450 harvester and Vario 620 grain header. We have the Elmer Manufacturing. This is going to be a straw blower with a FarmTech DPW 1800 flatbed trailer, the Fliego PFW 18,000 Max Line Plus slurry tanker applicator with a Credo 3 horse power harrow, and that is typically paired up with the Versa seeder. We also have the Hardy Mega 1200L fertilizer and herbicide sprayer, the John Deere 3650 tractor, the John Deere 6R 145 tractor, the John Deere C441R round baler wrapper combination. We have the RA142 TMR mixer, the Kubota R640 front loader. We have the Nardi N40BX header trailer 4R grain header. We have the Samaz KDF 341S front mower, as well as the P8890 windrower. Tedder, the Samaz XT390 side mower, the Z2 840H windrower, and then we have the Kodiak car available to us at the start if we own the farm. We do not have any hand tools, and this map does not have any collectibles. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time in build mode because we have 30 required mods. Of course, we're going to have a whole lot of stuff in sheds, in silos, silo extensions, and all of these other categories. So go ahead and kind of explore those at your leisure. With respect to ground textures, we've got fairly standard ground textures available on this map. And we also have fairly standard trees and fairly standard shrubs and grass. If we take a look at our vehicle shop under mods and DLCs, you will see that we have 2 grass silage bales available for purchase. I'm not really sure why we have these, because I'm pretty sure we have silage bales already purchasable in the shop. But at any rate, we have round bale grass silage and square bale grass silage. They both seem to be listed as 3,300 meters or 33 100 liters. I assume that's what 3.3 meters squared is with respect to liters. Now let's go ahead and kind of take a look around our starting farm, and then we'll extend that to the other farms that are also pre-placed on this map. We've got our entryway here across the street. We've got a open yard kind of ready for us to build and expand. And then we also have a open silage bunker also located over here. So we have silo grass, which is an interesting new listing. Let's go ahead and check the animal food requirements just to see if they've been changed up a little bit. They look, at first glance, pretty standard. Now back across the street, we've got our farmhouse. I was successful in selling everything that I attempted to sell here at this particular farm. In fact, I was able to sell everything at all the farms, but I'll make one exception when we get to the pig farm. Don't sell one thing, I'll point it out, because it will crash your game. I was able to reproduce the crashing multiple times when I tried to sell this one particular element. So I'm going to point it out to you. So if you do want to play on this map and you do want to make some changes, don't sell that one particular thing. All right, so we've got our farmhouse here with our sleep trigger around the front, our wardrobe trigger at this clothes basket. With some more machinery sheds here. More machine storage. We have our manure heap for our large cow barn. We're going to have our milk trigger. We're going to have our food and straw inside of here. And if we make our way over the other side of the building, we're going to find our buy point for our cows. 140 cows in this building. We have our slurry point. And then we have a farm silo located right here. Nope. This is going to be a storage silo, sorry, for solid fertilizer, lime, seed, and mineral feed. We do have a train on this map, but I don't think we have a train sell point. Nothing indicating a train sell point. This appears to simply be a deco train. We have additional storage here for vehicles and things. And then we have another cow barn here. This one's going to be able to support 50 cows. We have our slurry point. We have our dump point for our straw and food. We have our manure inside of there. And then we have our milk trigger. Right there. And that, folks, is pretty much the starting farm. Let me go ahead and pick up the other farms, and we'll get around taking a look at those. Now, the first farm I want to look at is going to be our pig farm, which is directly to the north and west of our starting farm location. Right there. And let's start by talking about what you should not try to sell. So we have our farmhouse here. That's fine. We can sell our farmhouse. Let's go into build mode. If we click on the trampoline, okay, this Hof Deco, do not sell the Hof Deco on the pig farm. It will crash your game consistently. I was able to repeat that. I was going around trying to sell all the buildings on all the different farms, trying to sell various decoration elements, and when I sold this farm's Hof Deco, the game went instant crash to desktop. So just a warning there. Hopefully that'll get fixed in an update. So we have our farmhouse here with our sleep and wardrobe trigger. Got a large machine shed. We have our farm silo. Some more storage for bales and things, machinery. We have slurry storage. 2 tanks for slurry storage. Slurry storage and a slurry storage extension. And then we have 2 pig barns. Right, so we have our slurry point, we have our food trough, and we have our pig drop-off. 275 pigs in each building. So here we are, replicated, slurry, pig purchase, and then our food. We do have gates, and that is your pig farm area. Now let's make our way up to the cow farm, or one of the cow farms at farmland ID 252 to the north. As we make our way up to the north, you'll see that lots of these fields are separated by drainage or irrigation ditches, and there's going to be little bridges to kind of access a lot of these, which may somewhat limit the size of your machinery. So here we have one of the cow farms. We have our farmhouse, sleep and wardrobe trigger. Some machinery storage, right? Possible bale storage. And then we have multiple open silage bunkers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Over here we have a open small cow pasture that's going to hold 57 cows with our food, bale, and water triggers. No milk trigger at that location. Here we have our farm silo and 3 storage extensions. So we have our dump point, we have our fill pipe. This is simply a retaining wall. I was not able to sell this retaining wall area. We have our milk trigger. We have our food and straw here in this cow barn. Now, if you do want to sell various things on this farm, it's fine. I didn't run into any crashing here, but do note that each of these pallets, they're individual. So you're going to need to sell lots of individual items on some of these farms. And here we have then our cow delivery point for a total of 70 cows. And our slurry point. Now, if we follow this road, we're going to take us down to our next cow farm, which is farmland ID 250. You can see the biogas plant located right there. We have our animal dealer located right there, but we'll come back to that. Here we have farmland ID 250. So this is going to be another cow farm. At our entry point, we do have a manure heap. One of our big cow farms buildings. So we have a slurry point. Of course, we're going to have food and straw inside of here. Some more machinery storage. Our farmhouse with our sleep and wardrobe trigger. Right, more storage. And then if we make our way around this water feature, we have 4 silage bunkers. 1, 2, 3, and 4. On this side of the building, we're going to find our cow delivery point and milk triggers. 343 cows in this building. Our milk. We have another small cow area here in this building for 35. And we have our food and straw located right there. Then we have a large slurry storage here as well. And then we're going to make our way to our final farm, which is down here to the south. Farmland ID 249. And we're just calling this an arable farm because there's no animals at this particular location. So we have our farmhouse with our dolphin statue decorations, sleeping wardrobe. We've got some machinery storage. Our first actual workshop trigger at any of the farms that we've found is located right here. We have a wash bay. We do have a slurry storage tank down here. Fuel storage, and that's pretty much it. Now, as I mentioned, right next to that we've got this solar array, and we have these wind turbines in these fields, but sadly these seem to be tied to Farmland ID 255 as opposed to being tied to the specific farmlands for which they are placed. So if you want to, and you can, if you own Farmland 255, you can clear these wind turbines out of the way, but it's going to be $8.5 million in order to make that investment to do so. So just a little word of warning. Now, if we loop back around here to our starting farm, that's where we'll start taking a look at our various sell points and productions. So from our starting farm, we're going to make our way to the east along this road. And down here we have our vehicle shop. So we have our maintenance trigger, or dealer trigger. And then inside we have our dealer. Let's go ahead and get something small. We see here where our starting machinery is going to spawn. And then right next door we do have a fuel point. If we make our way north from there, here we have another gas station, fuel point. We have a warehouse purchase point to purchase goods, finished goods. Right there. Cool little PDA of the map. With a little dot, you are here. And then your finished goods are going to spawn right there. We have our buy point for our goods. And this is going to be associated with that required mod, the multi-fruit buying station. We also have one of our grain sell points located right here as well. And then we have fill points for seed, lime, and fertilizer. So bulk buy points. Just to the west a little bit of that location, we have, again, our animal dealer. Pretty much just south and west of Farmland 250. Right, so we have our animal dealer. And then we have a buy point for slurry and a buy point for manure located here as well. North of Farm 250, we're going to find the biogas plant. And we do need to buy 250 in order to own the biogas plant. I've gone ahead and already done that. So we have our dump point for our slurry. We have our digester dump point. We have our interactive icon. We have our fill point for our digestate. And then we have 2 silage bunkers located right here. Just north of the biogas plant, we have a sell point located right here at this wood chip heating plant. And what's interesting about the wood chip heating plant, if you happen to own Farmland 255, it actually pops up a interactive icon as if it is a production point. Now we've got some sheep located up here, and I didn't notice if this was a sheep pasture or not. So let's go ahead and check. No, that is part of Farmland ID 255. So we're not going to be able to buy that. These sheep and goats along this hillside seem to be just simply decorative. Up here at the North Sea, we do have a sell point located just beside the beach. Right there. This little farmer's market kiosk. Continue to make our way across the northern part of the map. We've got what feels like reclaimed land out here that's all grass. And up here we have, well, a supermarket sell point for finished goods, bales, and grain, it appears. Right next to that, we have our carpentry production. So we have our wood cell point, we have our wood cell trigger, we have our interactive icon, we have our pallet spawn point. Across the street from that, we have another sell point in the dairy here. We go south from the dairy between Farmland ID 40 and 49. We have another sell point in this small farmer's kiosk. And that should be just about everything as far as sell points, productions, player farms. You see this map is fairly flat. It's right along the coastal edge. And of course we've got these drainage areas between the fields, which may kick this map out from consideration for some folks as well. Simply because they don't like dealing with hedgerows, they don't like dealing with ditches or other obstacles between them and the field. But fairly large forestry areas here, nice little trails through the forest. And this is that strip. This is that interesting strip that I mentioned that we own at the start, 233. It appears to simply be a strip for these utility lines to cut through. Not really sure why we own it at the start, but it possibly is going to give us some grass that we can mow. I'd love to know what your all's thoughts are down in the comments below with respect to North Frisian 25. And until next time, happy farming.